All right, welcome to the You vs. You show. Todd Cahill here as your host, and so excited. It is Friday. Hopefully you guys are definitely having a great or had a great week. I know it definitely, like I should say, some of your weeks probably weren't great. Maybe there was filled with some anxiety, some fear, what's going on, obviously, with the pandemic. So we really want to bring you videos like this to really display what people are doing, people that are they're leading themselves, they're courageous, they're overcoming, they're doing some amazing things. And we have Juan Madero today on the show, episode 5. And we're going to talk today about pivoting. Now, Juan, I've known for quite a while, so I'm excited about this. He is in the Los Angeles, California area. I met Juan, way back in the day. I think we knew each other from Prepaid Legal, a network marketing company where I would come from San Diego, and that's where I got like my mentorship and would come up to the, what was it called? The Proud Bird.
Proud Bird.
Yeah. I think that's completely gone now, or at least out of business. But it was this big conference center. We'd come every Monday, and you would kind of rise up, and you do so well, and you were on stage. Then you got to start speaking and stuff, and that's where I saw your success with some amazing leaders there. And then, of course, you've been doing your thing, and I've been doing my thing. But I wanted to feature on the show today because, obviously, with what's going on, you've been an entrepreneur for years. So I want to get your take on, the COVID-19, what you're doing for yourself and your family. I know you have a family, you're married, you have children. I know you're 40, and you have about, 15 years of experience, if not more, in entrepreneurship. So I think a lot of people, I've talked to so many people every single day, people that are maybe nervous or scared, they don't really know what to do. So a little bit about your background first and foremost, and then we want to get into some questions about what's really the best way to pivot and maybe even start to become an entrepreneur when maybe someone hasn't never been an entrepreneur, and talk about that mentality. So tell me a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for having me on this interview today, Todd. I really appreciate you choosing me or telling me if I wanted to be on it. It's a privilege to be able to be working with you. And I've been knowing you for a number of years, and have so much respect for what you've done back in the days with when we used to work together with Prepaid Legal, and I saw your success, and I was, just always so impressed with what you were doing even back then, and just getting the chance to find out more about you and what you're doing now, and working with Emmanuel. It really, really, I got so encouraged when I heard what you were doing, and I'm so excited to work with you. Anyways, to go into my background, my background has mostly been in the sales business, marketing, management, leadership type of roles. And, for me, it's always been about people. I love people. I love to interact. I love to have, just that connection with people, and to be able to listen to people. I really pride myself on listening to people when I talk to them. But basically, I went to college, and I did everything that everybody told me to do, is to go to college and get a good job so I can get paid good money, and I can provide for my family. And I did that. But towards the end, when I was actually a senior at Cal State Long Beach, I was introduced by one of my best friends, Jason. He introduced me to the concept, or not to the concept, but to the company Prepaid Legal, which was a network marketing company. And I was really hesitant because I was almost done with school. And, I was doing good for myself, with what I was doing with getting paid and stuff. But I ended up getting injured, and I couldn't work anymore. And so I had to look for something else because I used to be a bartender for a while. And then I got introduced to network marketing, and I ended up doing about 7 to 8 years there at Prepaid Legal. And that taught me a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it really, really helped me to expand more than anything, to expand my vision, to expand my brain, and to expand my mindset, and to really personal development. I think it's really the biggest tool that it taught me. So I'm really grateful for that. That's a little bit about my background. Lately, I've been working more with attorneys and business professionals. And, so that's pretty much a little bit about my background, Todd.
Yeah, and that's we're going to segue into your background. That's why I wanted everyone to kind of hear the background a little bit, because we're going to talk about some bullet points there. But the first thing I want to talk about is I haven't talked to you in years until about a month or two ago, when our friend Emmanuel, who's my business partner on the Inside Out coaching program, who is one of the top body practitioners in the world, you've known him for many, many years. You guys are close, but he asked me to call in to a mastermind that you were having, and you put all that together. And what's interesting is you read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and he talks about the power of the mastermind. So I know you're very passionate about that. So if you can really, because right now we can't meet up in a mastermind right now because of COVID-19, we have to be 6 feet apart, whatever. And I think that's important for us to follow that rule. I know there's some people still in this country that don't follow those rules. We ask people, please stay home. It is important. We want this to go away. But the good news is, because of what we're doing right now, if you're watching this, you're kind of in the mastermind, right? You're watching this, you're getting good information. We're not talking about negative news here. We're talking about positive news. So first of all, what is the mastermind? Why are you passionate about it? Number one. And then number two, how can people even form a mastermind and find like-minded people now, even if they're home by themselves or isolated? How can they really raise their level of vibration through the mastermind virtually?
Wow, Tal, that's such a great question. It's such a powerful concept. I was exposed to it when, like you said, when I actually read Think and Grow Rich, and through my personal development stage. You know, you keep hearing about the mastermind, and when you think about the book Think and Grow Rich, it takes 20 years to build. And one of the principles that it says that is that all the, you know, the most successful, the wealthiest, you know, the people that everybody looked up to, you know, they all had a mastermind. And the power of two, it's not three. Actually, it's not two, it's three. So when you put together two minds, there's a third mind that comes that you basically, it's not there, but it's there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Invisible, in other words.
We're all you know, it's like if I'm using 20% of my brain, you're using 20% of your brain. If we have 5 people, we're using 100% of our brain if you really do the math. So
exactly.
It's just a lot more smarter, you know, kind of group.
It's so powerful when you get together with somebody, the magic that happens there. When you have an idea and then you share it with somebody, I know that it's happened to me with my business partner, one of my mentors, Sam Gonzalez. We feed off of each other, and he tells me one thing, and then sometimes we go back and forth, you know. And the same thing with my wife. If you're married, you know, that's your greatest mastermind right there. It's your wife or your husband.
Absolutely.
So take advantage of that, you know. That's what I love about my wife, is that, and she does too. You know, she picks my brain, and we kind of feed off of each other and help each other. And I think that's one of the reasons that we've been able to, you know, really, you know, help each other out because of that.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to get to that in a second. So here's the deal. Okay, so I'm going to put a little perspective here for everyone that's watching this. So let's say there's people that are watching this, and there's a lot of Americans right now, and of course, I work a lot with Canadians. You know, obviously, people all over, not just America. But I think we're all the same people. I think people are drawn to other people. But there is a challenge in all of our worlds, whether it's the virus or not. It's the virus, a negative virus of negative people. And, you know, it's amazing how many people make decisions, life decisions, career decisions. Even, it's crazy to even think this, but let's say you're dating someone and you will or won't marry them based on if your sisters or your brother likes them or not.
Sure.
And that happens almost in every culture, you know, especially in even other cultures outside of America. So so here I am. Let's say I'm a people pleaser my whole life. Now I'm not around people. I'm having self-awareness. I'm opening up kind of like to who I really am. And that's called, you know, getting released of some of the emotional baggage. That's what we do with people. But how important is to be kind of connected? How can I connect? So my question is, from your experience, how can I connect and attract positive, like-minded people that even will help me with a business idea? They'll help me with a career idea. Let's say I have to pivot. Maybe I'm in the retail business. Maybe I'm a waiter. I can't show up to work. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a fitness gym owner. I'm out of business basically for who knows how long. So how can I maybe pivot, and how can I attract certain business people to me instead of me just, you know, trying to figure it out myself?
Yes, I love that question, Todd. And I have a really clear answer that came to my mind right away. And it's something that's in my heart. So I want to share it with everybody. And I really feel that if you listen to just this one part of this interview, it really would help you out. The biggest thing is listen to what you're listening to and what you're watching. I know that even myself, everybody, we all do it. We're all attracted to it. So, for example, television, the news. If you watch any news, I guarantee that 100% that it's going to be negative, that it's not going to be positive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so when you think about it that way, what are you feeding your brain? What are you watching? What are you listening to on a daily basis? So what happens is, over a period of time, even if you don't believe it, when you watch it so many times, you get to a point where you're like, everybody's saying it, so I'm going to believe it. And that's kind of where the mind kicks in. And so really be mindful of what you're watching, what you're listening to, and your associations, the people that you're talking to, your friends, your family. sometimes you have to limit the amount of talking that you do to them because of the negativity that they have. So it's okay to excuse yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to spend time with them, but maybe I'm going to limit it to maybe less time because of what we're going through right now.
Well, it's also about loving yourself. So, for me and you, obviously we grew up in prepaid legal, in our early 20s, we got started in network marketing. And if anyone, maybe has a negative kind of position in network marketing, I would say don't, because whatever you're selling, a product or service, I think the most important thing about online marketing, direct sales, is you learn so much about yourself, because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to learn leadership. You have to be influential and all this good stuff. So you're around other influential people. You're around other great leaders, people that are making great money, all this good stuff. So, I think it's so important. But what I've learned, and I think, Juan, if you could speak to this, is this confidence thing. So everyone struggles, because I've been a coach for years. Everyone, I think one of the top 3 things people struggle with is their self-confidence. So if they have a big family or a small family, it doesn't matter. If most of their family is kind of like low thinkers, low vibration, and they're constantly negative, it does take massive courage and massive confidence to break away. Yes. Maybe it's a best friend you grew up with, and now you're in your 30s, and that same high school friend is the same they were in high school. They're still talking about, let's go get a beer, let's go get drunk. And you're like in your 30s, you're like, dude, like, I'm 30 with a kid. Like, I'm not going to go to the bar anymore. So there's that self-confidence in yourself that you have to love yourself to walk away from that. So how have you developed a healthy self-confidence in who you are, so that you're able to kind of walk away from some of maybe the family and the friends and the negativity and that neural loop that you were in, to really walk up and break away from that confidently?
Yeah, that's man, that's one thing I love about you, Tyler, is you ask some great questions. And that's such a topic that we can spend an hour on, but to kind of cut it real, as quickly as I can, is the way you build confidence is by doing it, doing it and not being scared of it. That's the biggest or best way that I know of, is that you always lead by example. And I think right now, really leaders are really made, in crisis. And we're going through a crisis right now. The leaders that we admire, the people that we look up to, are the people that are under pressure, are the ones that perform. Like, the ones that come to my mind right now are Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. These are the kind of people that when it comes down to it, they know that the ball's going to go to them. And, game 7, with 3 seconds left, who's going to get the ball? Kobe Bryant's going to get the ball. And how did he do it? He just did it over and over and over again. And he wasn't scared to fail. And so I think that's really important. But I think right now, what we're going through, it's going to be a short episode in our life. It's going to be a few months. I don't know. I can't say, but I don't think it's going to be years, maybe years, a year or two. I don't think it's more than that, but it's going to be a condensed frame. And the way that you and I, and actually you've been teaching me and coaching me on, Todd, is that it's up until September is when September is really what we're going to see. So it's really a few months. We're going to go through a struggle as a nation, as a country. But right now, never ever in the history of our lifetime, probably, I know that in my lifetime, I'm 40 years old. In my dad's 65, he's never gone through this. The majority of us that are alive have never gone through this before. Yeah. So it's a very unique opportunity. And that's the way we got to do it. We got to see it as an opportunity, because the biggest opportunities are made in crisis. And we're in crisis right now.
Absolutely. So here's the deal. Obviously, you talk about leadership and you talk about obviously crisis. I mean, what we're going through is obviously a lot less than World War II, World War I. The plagues and the different kind of things that people went through 100, 200, 300 years ago. There's been a lot in our history as human beings, obviously, that people have gone through. What if people did come together, though? What if there are, as far as businesses, support, everyone switched to online? Obviously, we have Zoom, we have social media. We could definitely pivot into business owners. What I really want to get across on the You Versus You show is, there's the one thing that I can't stand is excuses. There are just a million excuses, and everyone can have an excuse. Everyone right now can just say, I don't know what to do. I'm just waiting for Donald Trump. I'm just waiting. And it's not just obviously America. It's in Canada. It's in 140 countries. So there's different leaders that are doing the same thing that kind of Donald Trump's doing. But it's Donald Trump doesn't control my life. Does that make, like, I control my life? Like, I have to get up every day. I have to either decide to work or not work. So like, this is the most imperative time to be a leader. So my question to you, Juan, is obviously you've done a lot of personal development. You've done a lot of reading. You've done a lot of self-education. What is a leader to you? Can you define leadership, and what does the leader look like nowadays?
Yes. It's another question too. That's, such a broad question, but I'll try to condense it by saying this. For me, I've studied leadership for about 20 years now, and I've been around some amazing, amazing leaders, including yourself, Todd. I really appreciate and admire your leadership.
Thank you.
But the biggest thing for me is you got to lead yourself. You know, you got to really, it starts with yourself. It starts with you. And if you can get that part about leadership, I think the rest of it will take care of itself, because leadership is about leading from the front. It's about doing what you want others to do. And I heard this say, you know, I think maybe even from you, I've heard it several times, you know, but you cannot ask somebody to do something that you're not doing. Right. And that's the true definition of a leader. If you do it, or you're doing it, or you should be doing it, you can be telling others to do it because you're doing it. So, but it starts with yourself first. You got to lead.
Yeah.
Lead by example.
So watch this. So Juan, so talk to me. So you guys are married. Obviously, you guys have been married for years. So talk to that in kind of a marriage way. So lead yourself. What does that do for your marriage? Like, let's say, for instance, Juan, you know, you get lazy and you don't work out anymore, and you don't really care about your financial situation, and you're just like, hey man, I just want to watch Netflix and chill. I don't know when I'm going back to work, whatever. Is that going to bring friction to a marriage, or is it better for you to be more of a leader now and more focused, and, you know, almost like fear, you're driven by fear in a good way, where you're just like, you are motivated more than ever. You're really alive. You know, does that make sense? You're like, it's like driving in a snowstorm. You're really focused. So what does that mean in a marriage right now? If you don't even worry about your spouse, but you're just so focused on leading you, becoming the best version of yourself, what does that do for a marriage? What does that do for a partnership?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you put me on the spot with my wife here, Todd.
I know, that's why.
She'll be the attest to this, you know, if you ever, when you get a chance to talk to her. But, you know, for me, I really thought about that. You know, it's because I love personal development so much, and I'm constantly seeking. I seek out greater people than people that I admire, that I really look up to. And that's one of the reasons that I got you as a coach, Todd, is because I said, you know what, during these times, I need a coach now more than ever, because we need help. We need help. That's the number one thing, you know, is that I'm not perfect. You know, I'm not here to say my marriage is perfect. It's, you know, everybody's got problems, you know, but at the end of the day, for me, it's like, I feel confident in my marriage. I feel confident in who I am and what I'm doing and what I've been doing, you know, and for me, it's about leading by example. So what I tell my wife is like, you know, this is stuff that I'm doing. I'm taking these pills. I'm, you know, doing these cleanses. I'm really watching what I'm eating. I'm being very careful, you know, with a lot of stuff that I'm watching. So I tell my wife all the time, you know, it's like, we just can't be scared. We can't be scared. Don't get panic, because panic, it really kind of creates an emotion, and it makes you not think properly. So my biggest thing with my wife is don't panic. It's okay. You know, she watches the news all the time, and I'm like, I watch it too with her. You know, it's hard to like not watch it because you want to know what's going on. But I used to watch it a lot, and then I saw it, the power of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna limit the amount of TV that I watch, and I promise you, if you guys just listen to that part, if it's something really important, someone's gonna text you about it. Someone's gonna call you. So nothing's gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the President Trump will send you a text. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's gonna happen? I know he
sends texts for T-shirts and raising money, so I'm sure he'll text you if something serious is going on, right? Very good points. Very good points.
I mean, is that kind of?
It does, and I think everyone, for what, you know, anytime I do a show and obviously spend time even on a Friday night, I just want people to think. I want you guys to understand it is a you versus you battle. My whole premise for the past 20 years is I can't worry what other people are doing. I'm only in competition with myself. Also, what I really find, even up until this day, even when somebody's like saying, like you said, I want to coach and stuff, and I lay everything out that we do, and then they'll text me the day later and say, oh, you know, I just can't right now. And it's constant self-sabotage that I find, that people, they want to change, they want to transform, they want the great life, they want to be healthier, but they won't work out. They want more money, but they won't pick up the phone. They won't sign up for that new business. They won't, you know, and that's not everybody. And I'm not saying people are just kind of dumb or anything like that. It's just, we have this tendency to self-sabotage. So what you're saying is, if we can effectively lead ourselves, then we're going to tend to not self-sabotage. So let's dive into that a little bit. So what does it mean to lead yourself effectively to you? So can you give us some context of just in your own life, what you do on a day-to-day basis in your routine, how to become a better leader?
Yes. Great. I wanted to actually get into that. So I'm glad you asked me that, Todd. I'm being very intentional right now with everything that I'm doing. And you have to right now, maybe just for the next few months, but I guarantee you, once you start doing it, you start getting to the habit of it, you won't want to go back. But if you're intentional, listen to what you're seeing, watch what you're seeing. One of the things that I'm real conscious right now is like my hands, and the virus can either go through your nose or through your mouth. So one of the things I found out is that you don't want to put your hands in your face. So especially through your mouth or through your nose. So be mindful of how many times you do that, and then remind yourself or tell yourself, don't do that, because that's the way the virus comes in. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I'm doing is that I'm focusing, I'm working on, and every day I'm doing something to improve my immune system. Mm-hmm. I take pride in that. I've been taking pride in that. I'm so grateful and so glad to my wife, because my wife has an intuition like I've never met before. But a few months ago, she told me, you know what? She's like, why don't we do a cleanse?
Yeah.
And she's like, we'll do a juicing. She went and invested over, I think it was like $400 or $500, but our juicer is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. I love it so much, because all we do is go to the farmers market on Saturdays. We go to the one here in Downey, California on Saturdays. It's from 10 to 1. I would highly recommend you guys find your nearest, farmers market and just go there and just get fruits, veggies, nuts, yogurts, man, just stuff that's so good. Mm-hmm. So go in there, intentionally come and juice that. That's kind of what I'm doing. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm taking a few different products. This is one of the products that I'm taking. It's called Dirt. Mm-hmm. It's an antivirus, antibacterial product. That's an alkaline product that will help you with energy as well. This is another one too that I'm really big on. It's called Colloidal Silver. For those of you guys that have ever heard of it, I would highly recommend. This is also an antiviral product. And then these right here, peppers. Mm-hmm. These are actually filled with vitamin C, just like lemons. I drink lemon juice. I heat up lemons at night too. So those are some of the things that I'm intentionally doing. Again, I'm limiting the amount of news that I'm watching. I'm really careful with like who I'm talking to, and just trying to find the positive in everything we're doing.
Yeah, it's funny because you said peppers and stuff. I go to the grocery store twice a week, and all the produce is amazing. But when you go to the chicken aisle, it's like all gone, or the milk. And I'm just thinking, who would want to eat chicken and milk right now? Like, it's time to eat peppers and greens and do what you're doing and do what you're talking about. So it's interesting how people's minds are. I love what I got David Kellogg. He mentions right here in the comment. I love this. He says, not just self-sabotage, but it's complacency. Humans are creatures of habit. We get comfortable and need to be pulled out of that comfort zone. So I can speak to that because there is a virus that we all deal with since our birth, and that's apathy. Apathy is a natural human instinct common to us all, which we seek our comfort zone, which nothing ever changes. And the only way to defeat apathy, and that's why I call my coaching program Inside Out, where we have everything that we want inside of us, or everything, all the ingredients is inside, but we need someone to pull that out. That's why great athletes, great people in history have had mentors and coaches. So once you pull that out, you need someone to pull that out of you. So accountability, like, talk to us about, how are you all staying accountable if you're isolated? How are you all staying accountable for your actions? How can someone stay accountable? How do you stay accountable for basically your goals and dreams? And why are you dreaming bigger than ever, even when everyone else is just like, oh my gosh, the death toll is at what? Oh my gosh, Just remember when Obama was president, 12,000 people died of swine flu. 12,000. So, it should, or 12 million, some crazy numbers. You can look that up. But I mean, there's been presidents, every president, something major has happened health-wise. Obesity, 300,000 people die a year. So I know this is such a horrible thing that's going on, but I think also we need to gain perspective of what can we do instead of what can't we do? What can we do? What can we control instead of focusing on what we can't control? So what are your thoughts about some of that stuff?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Todd. Yeah, you know what? The biggest thing, number one, if you're married, that's your number one accountable for me. I'm accountable to my wife each and every day, and we're a partnership. We work together, and she helps me out so much, with everything I do. But she's really, my number one accountability partner that helps me. And then number two, and probably the biggest one that I have complete control over is looking for a coach. That's one of the ways that I've actually, taken on this on this is to be able to find a coach to help me keep accountable, because there's a lot of things that I want to do, but I know myself. I know that if I don't have somebody to be accountable, I can easily slack off, or it will take me longer than what I should be doing it. So that's one of the reasons I hired you, Tyler, and I'm so grateful for you, because you do keep me accountable. You call me, you check up on me, you ask me all the time, like almost on a daily basis. I hear from you somehow, some way. I'll get a text or even social media. I'm constantly on social media, so I see you all the time. But yeah, find a coach right now. And number 3 is, really sit down with yourself every day in the morning and meditate and pray. And at the end of the night, when you're going to sleep, really ask yourself, hold yourself accountable, because at the end of the day, only you can hold yourself accountable. But you can find people like, a coach, like I found Todd, you can find other people right now, but right now everyone's busy with themselves. So, go out and hire a coach. Trust me, it's so worth it. I really recommend it.
Yeah. So let me paint the picture. This is our first week of doing the You vs. You show. I tell you this, so I'm going to give people a sneak peek into what I tell you guys on our mastermind calls and our Zoom calls. Nice. We're definitely looking at anyone that's watching this. We're definitely looking. I'm no expert and stuff, but I also have my own coach, and this is the Zooms that I'm on. So I have a financial coach who makes millions and millions of dollars every year, and he makes a lot of money, especially in times like this. So we are looking at a quarantine about till about end of May. So I know the president talked about end of April. So we're looking at really end of May 31st or May 30th, whatever. We will see a kind of obviously a major decrease in the recession. There's going to be a recession probably worse than 1929. Now, you have to understand a recession is not for everybody. This is a time, the recession in 1929, a lot of multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires were created in 1929, 1930. You look at 2008, the people that lost everything compared to the people that actually made more millions. Cash you're getting real estate pennies on the dollar. You're getting stocks pennies on the dollar. Yes, the stock market will go down, but what goes down obviously must come up. So it is a time where people are. I'm like exhausted today, because I've been on the phone with like 5 or 6 people that want my coaching, and I had to and every time I pitch it takes about an hour, because there's so much that we do obviously in the Inside Out coaching program. But they're smart, because they're like, their jobs are no longer there. So they need to make a pivot. So for you, you're really doing that. And you showed some products there, and you're also, you just got started a new company that I helped kind of co-found as a team member. You're also in the coaching program, and you're getting clarity. And maybe a month or 2 ago, you had a lot of things going on. And then now you're really starting to get focused on a few things to really master. So what's going to happen though, September, like once you all master it, come September and October, that's going to be where a lot of wealth is created, because things are going to calm down. Markets are going to go up. Restaurants are going to open. And this is a time for massive wealth in our country. So my whole point of this is people that are waiting and they're holding on their money, which is smart. If you have a bill, try to defer it all. But if you're holding on to your money and not getting help, not getting into a mastermind to grow your money, to grow your mindset, because, hey, I can have no money right now, but I got this thing called the brain, and I can go get a ton of money tomorrow. I can create money from thin air if I have a brain. So for you, Juan, how important is this to you, and how important is this to stay focused, to invest money into making more money as opposed to just spending money when you can defer it, if it's a mortgage payment, take advantage of the next 90 days, but really putting your money into investing in yourself? How valuable is that to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the number one thing is investing in yourself right now more than ever. If you're confident, if you're not confident, then make sure to get a coach. Make sure to get somebody. You're going to need it. You need the confidence in order for you to get out there. But again, right now, I can't stress enough, like, take advantage of this opportunity. We will never see an opportunity like this ever in our life. So the next few months, really, really be mindful about that. Like, really change the way you think. And we're not going through a crisis. This is a crisis for a lot of people, but not for yourself. Why? Because like you said, you have a brain, and there's demand for a lot of things right now. A lot of people need a lot of things. They're going to need a lot more things. For example, immune support is going to be a big one that people are going to be more mindful now. They're going to say, you know what? I need that. I need something to help me keep me healthy. So find different, products, services. They're out there. You just got to find them. If you don't know of anyone, call me. Like, I got so many different opportunities that I can introduce you to, or I can tell you, or I can refer you to. But I'm telling you guys, right now is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of opportunities, especially working from home. is really where the money's at right now. I really highly suggest that part.
Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurs are everything. I mean, you look at Bob Kraft, or the owner of the Patriots, just sent out his plane to China, got 2.7 million masks, to bring back to America. This is a time where the billionaires are stepping up, the millionaires are stepping up. And, the spirit of entrepreneurship is really what I'm all about, because there's really three mentalities when it comes to specifically money. You have the spirit of poverty, which is a lot of people right now, paycheck to paycheck. So when you live paycheck to paycheck, it's not, and it's crazy because I talked to so many people living paycheck to paycheck for years. And I try to scare them. I try to put fear in them, be like, look, that you could lose your job. Oh, no, I'll be fine. But I would hate to be paycheck to paycheck now, especially if I'm not willing to have an entrepreneurial mentality and not open to coaching, because I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. Then there's the entitlement mentality. Oh, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I have a job. No problem. I'll be fine. I deserve it. But then they don't. They lose it. And then you see that in sports a lot. You look at Antonio Brown. He lost millions of dollars having the entitlement mentality, and he can't even get a job right now. He's an awesome wide receiver. Yes, so for you, it's like, what's the last thing you can just share as far as how can someone go from maybe the spirit of poverty, maybe that's all they knew, because that's how you started this interview. You're like, go to school, get good jobs to get good grades. Maybe they still are in the spirit of poverty. They are living paycheck to paycheck. Now they're scared, or they're entitled, and that's not working anymore. How can someone maybe get the spirit of, or the entrepreneur mentality, if they never been an entrepreneur before? How does that work?
Yes. Well, number one, you have to be open to it. That's number one. If you're not open to it, then move on, because it doesn't matter what I say. But if you're open, again, there's so many opportunities out there. Yeah. If you don't know about them, there's people out there that I'm one of them. If you're watching this, you know me, or I'm connected with you somehow. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email, shoot me something, just reach out. I would love to help you guys out, man, because there's so many opportunities. I didn't tell you my story, but I got laid off. Not laid off, but I actually was not able to receive a few different income sources that I was working with. Right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's okay. I'll just find something else. Yeah. But that's because of the confidence that I have. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to kind of end with this kind of thought, is that the best way to do it, that I think you could do it, is by finding a coach. Yeah. I really feel that would be the number one way to do it, because when you have a coach, you got somebody to help you, and you can leverage their experience and their talents, and all you have to do is apply them. Like, you have to just trust the coach and do it. Let him do it for you. What I wanted to do, Todd, is because I love people so much, and I actually love coaching myself, and that's one of my dreams that I'm going to eventually I already told you, but I want to become a coach just like you. You're kind of the model I want to follow. But yeah. I know that I would highly recommend anybody that's listening to hire you, to go on that. But if not, I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm going to provide value to you guys. I'm willing to take on 3 different folks that want to take on this challenge or this contest. But the first 3 people that want to contact me, I'll coach you guys for free. I won't even charge you. If you guys want to give me anything, that's up to you guys. I will leave that open to you, but I will do it at no charge. If anybody that's struggling right now that doesn't have money for a coach, I will tell you guys, call me. I'll schedule something with you guys. I'll spend time with you guys. I'll help you guys with whatever I can. I got tons and tons of opportunities around me. I can introduce you guys to mentors that I know, and we'd love to help anybody that's watching this video tonight. Yep.
That's powerful. I mean, anyone that doesn't take you up on that, I don't know. It's an interesting world we live in, because, I do this show every day, Monday through Friday, and I post tons of inspiring things. And then I look at some of these other, I don't know, Instagram and Facebook, people that post the dumbest things, and they get thousands of likes and thousands of comments. It's just, it's all there for someone who's self-aware. It's all there for someone who really wants the information. And I wrote You Versus Your Knowledge because I think so many people have to unlearn what they've already learned, because it's not serving them anymore, because we're evolving. We're evolving as human beings. AI is coming in the next 10 years, artificial intelligence, it's already here, virtual, technology. I mean, we're not the same people as we were 20 years ago. I mean, think about September 11th happened almost 20 years ago. Think about how much we've evolved as a human race. So this is a time where you have to get different types of knowledge, not the same old knowledge that you've gotten. If you have to be open to it, you got to be coachable to it. So this is what we're providing. This is what we're giving. And there's really no excuses for anybody, because of people like Juan Madero that's offering 3 free spots to be coached by him. I mean, that's unbelievable. So I just appreciate you, Juan, and I know that you're on your way to incredible stardom and freedom and helping so many people. I know you've already done that, obviously, but just being your coach, myself, seeing your growth, seeing your development, seeing your goals, it's going to happen, obviously, even within this year in 2020. I think you're going to launch some amazing things, and I'm very pumped for you. But thanks so much for taking, your time to be with us on a Friday night in Los Angeles. So we really appreciate you. Any last words, one last encouraging kind of statement that you want to make before we head into the weekend?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, Todd. There's so much that I want to share with you guys, that are watching. But the biggest thing right now, again, is just stay positive, check yourself, be mindful about what you're doing every day, and then just kind of watch yourself. If you find yourself being negative, just remind yourself, say, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself to change my attitude, and really kind of be positive about everything that I'm doing. And I'm telling you, once you do it over and over again, it's so hard for negativity to come into your life. Mm-hmm. And when it does, you're like, pow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just don't allow it. So this is an opportunity for everybody to lead, to become a leader, to become a leader. I challenge all of you guys, to step up, step your game up. We all need you. Everybody needs you. America needs you. The world needs you right now. I'm challenging you guys, all of you guys that are watching here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, that's a lot of energy. And that's
I'm asking you guys to step up.
That's awesome. That's a lot of energy. I appreciate that, Juan. Thanks so much for being on the show today. Hey, guys, we're going to come on live again next Monday with another amazing guest like Juan. So I personally have a heart just to keep bringing we're all average, right? I start off average, Juan started off average, but we're getting extraordinary results. And the definition of leadership is to inspire and encourage people to perform above average. So, that's why we don't have celebrities on or anything like that. We want to just inspire everyone that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your past is. You can kick your own ass and win. You can win right now. You are the best. No one's like you. No one will ever be created like you. Your personality, who you are, the way you talk, the way you walk, you are unique. But you also have to know that you can be great. You can go from good to great by creating the self-awareness, looking from the inside, not chasing the outside stuff like the fear and what's going on in the outside world, but looking within yourself to see how can you add value to the world on the outside. So with that said, thank you so much, Juan. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you. Tell your wife thank you for letting us use you for 35 minutes. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Todd.
My pleasure. Thanks to all you guys watching. Thank you so much.